readers, it's Sasha, and today I am going to be doing my Goodreads chooses my September TBR. If you hear noise in the background, it could be one of three things. It could be Noah making his supper to go to work. It could be Pepper trying to antagonize Peaches, and it could be Peaches trying to kill Pepper. So, sorry, but that is what it is. I am in my dad t-shirt today. I am in my glasses, natural lighting. Like, this is the time to do this. So let's just dive right in to the rules of this game. So essentially how I choose my TBR every month is I put the number of books that I have in my Goodreads want to read list in a random number generator, and the first 5 numbers that come up correspond to the books that I'm going to read in the month. So I, a couple of months ago, decided to add a fun little wildcard number where I will put the numbers 0 through 9 in the same random number generator, and the number that comes up is my wildcard number. So if I land on any number that ends in that number, I have to add another book to my TBR. And I also have to add another book to my TBR if for some reason I land on a book that is not out yet. And considering I have almost 1,000 books in my want to read list and there are only like 20 that aren't out yet, I feel like the odds are in my favor. Maybe that would be great. So that is how we play this game. It's really fun and I'm looking forward to it. So I always start off with 5. Hopefully I only have 5. But yeah, so let's just start our screen recording. So our screen is recording. That is great. So let's go over to the random number generator. And we're going to put 0 and 9. And we're going to hit generate. 4. So our wildcard number is 4. So if I land on any number that ends in the number 4, then I have to add another book to my TBR. So I have 944 books in my TBR. So let's just put that number in and let's get started. All right. So book number 1 is 90. Okay, great. So that's going to be down on this page. No, not today. Not today. Thank you very much. 90 is going to be, oh my gosh, great, An Anonymous Girl by Greer Hendricks. So if you saw, I think my July, Goodreads chooses my July TBR, I had this book on it, but I never actually got to it because my reading in July was kind of sporadic. So I never got to that. So now I get to go to that. And I'm very excited because if you can't recall, I was really pumped to read this and then I never read it. So now I can read it. And that's just the bee's knees of entertainment. So An Anonymous Girl by Greer Hendricks, seeking women ages 18 to 32 to participate in a study on ethics and morality. Generous compensation, anonymity guaranteed. When Jessica Ferris signs up for a psychology study conducted by the mysterious Dr. Shields, she thinks all she'll have to do is answer a few questions, collect her money, and leave. But as the questions grow more and more intense and invasive, and the sessions become outings where Jess is told what to wear and how to act, she begins to feel as though Dr. Shields may know what she's thinking and what she's hiding. As Jess's paranoia grows, it becomes clear that she can no longer trust what in her life is real and what is one of Dr. Shields' manipulative experiments. Caught in a web of deceit and jealousy, Jess quickly learns that some obsessions can be deadly. So I'm really looking forward to reading this. I own this, and it is one that I've had for a while now, and because it was already on one of my Goodreads chooses my TBRs that I neglected to get to, hopefully I can get to it in the month of September. So that's great. That's a great way to start this. So let's go to book number 2. Book number 2 is 288, so we'll go over to page 3, and let's see what the cards have in store for me. Be kind, be kind. Why can't I see? Okay, there we go. I literally could not see 288. Letting Go of Gravity by Meg Letter. I don't actually remember what this book is about. So, twins Parker and Charlie are polar opposites. When Charlie's fearless, Parker is careful. Charlie's confident while Parker aims to please. Charlie's outgoing and outspoken, Parker is introverted and reserved. And of course, there's the one major difference. Charlie got leukemia, Parker didn't. But now that Charlie's officially in remission, life couldn't be going better for Parker. She's landed a prestigious summer internship at the hospital and is headed to Harvard in the fall to study pediatric oncology, which is why the anxiety she's felt since her Harvard acceptance is so unsettling. And it doesn't help her that her relationship with Charlie has been on the rocks since his diagnosis. Enter Finn, a boy who's been leaving strange graffiti messages all over town. Parker can't stop thinking about those messages, or about Finn, who makes her feel free for the first time. Free to doubt, free to make mistakes, and free to confront the truth that Parker has been hiding from a long time, that she keeps trying to save Charlie when the person who really needs saving is herself. So that's pretty exciting. I don't remember adding this book to my TBR, but I'm looking forward to it nonetheless. It sounds heartbreaking and intense, and I'm really looking forward to that. Perfect. So let's go on to book number 3. 380. Okay, perfect. So we're gonna go down and we're gonna go over to the next page, and let's see what 380 is. Date Me, Bryson Keller. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's great. Everyone knows about the dare. Each week, Bryson Keller must date someone new. The first person to ask him out on Monday morning. Few think Bryson can do it. He may be the king of Fairvale Academy, but he's never really dated before. Until a boy asks him out and everything changes. Kai Sheridan didn't expect Bryson to say yes, so when Bryson agrees to secretly go out with him, Kai is thrown for a loop. But as the days go by, he discovers there's more to Bryson beneath the surface, and dating him begins to feel less like an act and more like the real thing. Kai knows how the story of a gay boy liking someone straight ends. With his heart on the line, he's awkwardly trying to navigate senior year at school, at home, and in the closet, all while grappling with the fact that his relationship will only last 5 days. After all, Bryson Keller's popular, good-looking, and straight. Right? I'm really looking forward to this. I've heard really good things about this from a few of my friends here on BookTube, so I'm looking forward to reading this and picking this up. And it honestly, it just kind of seems like a nice, like, lighthearted contemporary read, and that's kind of what I need in my life right now. So, Date Me, Bryson Keller. I'm really looking forward to reading that. All right, let's go on to book number 4. No. Okay, 74, and I had to add another one, so that's exciting. It's not. All right, so let's go on to page 1 where 74 will be, and let's see which book I have to add another book with. So this better be good. Like, this better be like a top tier story. 74. The Nature of Jade by Deb Coletti. Oh my god, okay. This is okay with me because I have wanted to read this for a very long time. When I say this is like at the beginning of my want to read list, but like before I knew Goodreads had this opportunity to put that all in there, this was on my list since I was like 14. So now I get to read it. I just bought it last year, I think, or like sometime this year, and I was so excited to get it. So I'm really excited to read this now. Okay, so Jade DeLuna is too young to die. She knows this, and yet she can't quite believe it, especially when the terrifying thoughts, loss of breath, and dizzy feelings come. Since being diagnosed with panic disorder, she's trying her best to stay calm, and visiting the elephants at the nearby zoo seems to help. That's why Jade keeps the live zoo webcam on in her room, and that's where she first sees the boy in the red jacket, a boy who stops to watch the elephants, a boy carrying a baby. His name is Sebastian, and he's raising his son alone. Jade is drawn into Sebastian's cozy life with his son and his activist grandmother on their Seattle houseboat, and before she knows it, she's in love with this boy who has lived through harder times than anyone she knows. This boy with a past. Jade knows the situation's beyond complicated, but she hasn't felt this safe in a long time. She owes it all to Sebastian, her boy with the great heart. Her boy who is hiding a terrible secret. A secret that will force Jade to decide between what is right and what feels right. So like I said, I've wanted to read this for a really long time now. This came out in 2007 and it's been on my radar for several years. So I'm looking forward to picking this up and reading it, and I can't wait. That's actually really good. Okay, so although I did have to add another book, this is okay. So let's hope to not add any more, and let's go with number 5. 682. Okay, perfect. So we'll go over to page 7, and we're gonna go pretty much all the way to the bottom. 682, right? That's the number. Yeah. The Broken Girls by Simone St. James. All right, so The Broken Girls, I don't really remember what this is about. So Vermont, 1950. There's a place for the girls whom no one wants, the troublemakers, the illegitimate, the too smart for their own good. It's called Idlewild. That's going to trip me up. And in the small town where it's located, there are rumors that the boarding school is haunted. 4 roommates bond over their whispered fears, their budding friendship blossoming until one of them mysteriously disappears. Vermont, 2014. As much as she's tried, journalist Fiona Sheridan cannot stop revisiting the events surrounding her older sister's death. 20 years ago, her body was found lying in the overgrown fields near the ruins of Idlewild Hall. And though her sister's boyfriend was tried and convicted of murder, Fiona can't shake the suspicion that something was never right about the case. When Fiona discovers that Idlewild Hall is being restored by an anonymous benefactor, she decides to write a story about it. But a shocking discovery during the renovations will link the loss of her sister to secrets that were meant to stay hidden in the past and a voice that won't be silenced. So this sounds really good. This is an adult historical fiction thriller type story, and I am really looking forward to this one. So yeah, that's great. Okay, and fingers crossed that this is the last book because I really don't want to add anything else. So let's go for last pick, book 6. 67. Okay, great. So I don't have to add any more. Go me. Let's go all the way down to 67 and see what book this could be, possibly. I don't know. How to Make a Wish by Ashley Herring Blake. So I've heard many, many, many good things about Ashley Herring Blake, and I just am really excited now that I get to read one of her books. So this is great. So How to Make a Wish. All 17-year-old Grace Glasser wants in her own life. A normal life in which she sleeps in the same bed for longer than 3 months and doesn't have to scrounge for spare change to make sure the electric bill is paid. Emotionally trapped by her unreliable mother Maggie and the tiny cape of which she lives, she focuses on her best friend, her upcoming audition for a top music school in New York, and surviving Maggie's latest boyfriend, who happens to be Grace's own ex-boyfriend's father. That is a handful. Her attempts to lay low until she graduates are disrupted when she meets Eva, a girl with her own share of ghosts she's trying to outrun. Grief-stricken and lonely, Eva pulls Grace into midnight adventures and feelings Grace never planned on. When Eva tells Grace she likes girls, both of their worlds open up. But united by loss, Eva also shares a connection with Maggie. As Grace's mother spirals downward, both girls must figure out how to love and how to move on. This is hard-hitting. This is going to hit me right in my feels. I can already tell. So that's great. I'm really looking forward to this. I'm glad I don't have to add anything else because my brain could not handle it. But I'm really, really looking forward to the books that I chose. So I'm going to end the recording here, and then I'm going to talk about 4 more books that I'd like to read in the month of September. One is our Winer's book club pick, which is going to be on my channel. I picked the book and I'm very, very excited about it. And that is Like a Love Story by Abdi Nazemian. So I'm really looking forward to this. This has been on my radar for quite some time now, and I just knew I wanted to choose it for this vlog. Not vlog, book club. So it's 1989 in New York City, and for 3 teens, the world is changing. Riza is an Iranian boy who just moved to the city with his mother. He's terrified that people will find out he's gay, since all he knows of gay life are the media's images of men dying of AIDS. Judy is an aspiring fashion designer who worships her Uncle Stephen, a gay man with AIDS who devotes his time to activism as a member of ACT UP. Judy has never imagined finding romance, until she falls for Riza and they start dating. Art is Judy's best friend, their school's only out and proud teen. He rebels against his conservative family by documenting the AIDS crisis through his photographs. As Riza and Art grow closer, Riza struggles to find a way out of his deception that won't break Judy's heart and destroy the most meaningful friendship he's ever known. So this sounds right up my alley. It sounds hard-hitting, it sounds impactful, it's historical fiction, and I'm really looking forward to reading this. So if you want to be a part of the Winer's Book Club this month, make sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on our live show, and follow our Twitter, which is going to be linked in the description, and you will have a date set on Twitter. So next, I have 3 books that I'm planning on reading for a vlog that I'm doing, which I feel like you'll be able to figure out what it is, but I'm not going to tell you just because that suspense is like kind of fun, but I feel like you'll be able to put 2 and 2 together really quick. So let's just dive into those books. The first book I plan on reading is Little and Lion by Brandy Colbert. When Suzette comes home to Los Angeles from her boarding school in New England, she isn't sure if she'll ever want to go back. LA is where her friends and family are, along with her crush Emile. And her stepbrother Lionel, who has been diagnosed with bipolar disorder, needs her emotional support. But as she settles into her old life, Suzette finds herself falling for someone new, the same girl her brother is in love with. When Lionel's disorder spirals out of control, Suzette is forced to confront her past mistakes and find a way to help her brother before he hurts himself, or worse. This book has been on my radar for a while. I, for some reason, did not have it on my want to read list, and then I was looking at books and it wasn't on my want to read list. I was so shook, so I added it, and I realized that I wanted to read it in the month of September. So that is the plan for that. Next, I plan on reading a non-fiction book called Heartberries by Therese Marie Mailhote, and I'm so sorry if that's not how you say your name. So Heartberries is a powerful poetic memoir of a woman's coming of age on the Seabird Island Indian Reservation in the Pacific Northwest. Having survived a profoundly dysfunctional upbringing only to find herself hospitalized and facing a dual diagnosis of PTSD and bipolar II disorder, Therese Marie Mailhote is given a notebook and begins to write her way out of trauma. The triumphant result is Heartberries, a memorial for Mailhote's mother, a social worker and activist who had a thing for prisoners, a story of reconciliation with her father, an abusive drunk and a brilliant artist who was murdered under mysterious circumstances, and an elegy on how difficult it is to love someone while dragging the long shadows of shame. So I don't usually read nonfiction. Nonfiction doesn't sound like something typically that I'm interested in, especially memoirs and autobiographical settings. However, this does fit the theme of my vlog, which I feel like you're getting now. But I genuinely am looking forward to picking this up and seeing my feelings and how I react to this book. So I'm really looking forward to that one. And finally, the last book I plan on reading is When We Collided by Emery Lord. This is a book written by the author of one of my favorite books of 2021 so far. So I definitely had to pick up her other book, which I'm very excited about. So Jonah never thought a girl like Vivi would come along. Vivi didn't know Jonah would light up her world. Neither neither of them expected a summer like this. A summer that would rewrite their futures. In an unflinching story about new love, old wounds, and forces beyond our control, two teens find that when you collide with the right person at just the right time, it'll change you forever. So I'm really looking forward to that. I really loved Emery Lord's writing in the book that I read by her this year that I loved, that I'm blanking on the name, but The Start of Me and You. Yes. But yeah, so I'm really looking forward to reading that. So those are all the books I plan on reading in the month of September. Obviously, if I don't get to all of them, it isn't a big deal. I've stopped caring that much about that because life is just a roller coaster. And sometimes you just don't know if you can read all the books you say you're going to read, and that's okay. So thank you for tuning into this video. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content. I post once a week and I have really fun videos coming up that I'm sure you're not going to want to miss out on. And until next time, bye readers!